Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. Who the People's Channel, because we cover Epstein, kids. We've been covering it since he first got arrested in July of 2019, when I showed you that I did a video. It's one of my most watched videos where I said they unsealed documents and said he couldn't get parole. And I said, oh, he's going to be dead within a week. And he was. And so there's new shocking revelations about, I've shown you Jess Staley's, I've shown you the photo, I'm going to show you again, his ties to Epstein, but now it's even a bunch of emails just got released, and the mainstream media is kind of talking about it a little bit. But one of the things you have to understand, this all broke last week, about 4 days ago, when, what were we talking about? Balloons were attacking America. We found out that one of them was a just balloon that went off course. Now, maybe the Chinese were trying to spy on us. I'm sure that they were. And we spy on, we're the worst. We spy on everybody, our own all around the world. So for us to get all bent out of shape that China was doing to us what we do like 100 times worse is a little ridiculous. But many of these balloons were just like weather balloons that got blown off course by, weather, which, how does a weather balloon get blown around by weather is crazy to me. But when we were all going nuts about balloons, this story came out. And this is just from a local news agency. But Fox News picked this up. I don't know if CNN or MSNBC have, but this is what came out. This was 3 days ago.
New revelations in a federal lawsuit against one of the nation's biggest banks and its relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Those newly unsealed documents in a lawsuit allege more than 20 sex trafficking victims were paid through J.P. Morgan accounts. The U.S. Virgin Islands now suing the bank, claiming executives ignored red flags and helped Epstein run his sex ring. Good evening. I'm Todd McDermott.
And I'm Felicia Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us. Investigative reporter Terry Parker joining us now with a closer look at the disturbing emails between a former top J.P. Morgan executive and Epstein. Terry?
The lawsuit alleges for years a former top banker at J.P. Morgan had an extraordinarily close friendship with Epstein, enjoyed Epstein's homes and private island, and sent emails with coded princess messages indicating, they say, the executive himself may have been involved. While convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was on work release in Palm Beach, a federal lawsuit claims his private banker at J.P. Morgan, Jess Staley, kept in contact, visiting Epstein's Palm Beach mansion and his Virgin Islands private island many times, even while Epstein was jailed. According to newly unredacted documents in a federal lawsuit against J.P. Morgan, the Virgin Islands government says, between 2008 and 2012, Staley exchanged approximately 1,200 emails with Epstein from his J.P. Morgan email account. These communications show a close personal relationship and profound friendship between the two men, and even suggest that Staley may have been involved in Epstein's sex trafficking operation. In July 2010, Staley sent a message to Epstein. Staley read, "Maybe they're tracking you. That was fun. Say hi to Snow White." Epstein replied, "What character would you like next?" Staley replied, "Beauty and the Beast." Epstein, "Well, one side is available." In another exchange, the plaintiffs alleged Staley was apparently on Epstein's island, writing, "Presently, I'm in the hot tub with a glass of white wine. This is an amazing place, truly amazing. Next time we're here together, I owe you much, and I deeply appreciate our friendship. I have few so profound." And tonight, J.P. Morgan declines to comment, but sources familiar with the matter tell me the company ended its relationship with Epstein long before his ongoing misconduct became known. Since then, J.P. Morgan Chase has cooperated with investigation into Epstein and others. I've also contacted Jess Staley's lawyer in London, but have not yet heard back. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.
Terry, thank you for that. Now, our coverage doesn't end here. We'll continue to bring you any new updates on our free WPBF 25 News app.
Oh, so first of all, I just love the corporate media is like misconduct. Oh, it's misconduct now. Oh, wacky misconduct. We have a crazy misconduct. This is Jeffrey Epstein's misconduct of being one of the most notorious sex trafficking pedophiles in the world that we know about. That's misconduct. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. It's misconduct. So why this is significant is this is all stuff I've covered, and I'll bring this up to you guys. So this was, let me go into a story we covered. So we covered this. Let me just back up here. This is a story we covered back in, I think December or January. And this is from Julie K. Brown. The extent to which the banks helped Epstein traffic underage girls and women remains a mystery. This lawsuit may finally reveal the powerful men and women at these banks who were the enterprise. And I was talking about this is one of the ways we can bring Epstein down is by showing the banks. And we went through Jeffrey Epstein sued banks they allege were facilitating sex trafficking operation. And this is from the lawsuit. 2 anonymous Epstein accusers filed lawsuits against Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan Chase in the U.S. District of the Southern District of New York on Thursday. Again, this is back in like December. So, I'm sorry, that's November. So this case happened and they started end of November. So now here we are in February and it's starting to come out. They allege the banks knowingly benefited from assisting, supporting, facilitating, and otherwise providing the most critical service for the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking organization to successfully rape, sexually assault, and cursively sex traffic the women. Epstein and his co-conspirators could not have victimized without assistance from wealthy individuals and financial institutions. Bradley Edwards, a lawyer at Edwards Pottinger, one of the firms bringing the lawsuit. And I've shown you this photo a million times. So if you see right there on the, let me see if I can let me make that bigger. So if you look right there to the far left of the screen, that's Jess Staley, then CEO of JP Morgan Chase, right? Right next to him is, if you go starting from left to right, then the second from the left is Larry Summers, who worked under the Clinton administration as the Secretary of Treasury. In the middle with his arms folded, that's Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? Second from the right, that's Bill Gates. Far right is Boric Nikolic, who was basically, I think CFO, but ran the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And he was the executor of Epstein's will. So you remember how I've been talking about how this isn't just wacky conspiracy. And so this lawsuit is now showing it. I'm sorry, these emails are very, this is a smoking gun. And the horrific reality is that the code names of the Disney characters are more than likely types of little girls that Epstein was getting for Jess Staley. Now, one of the things we've shown you in the Epstein case is so Epstein had a hedge fund that was a scam. There was nothing happening to it. And we know this is how Epstein would get people compromised. He would have, and probably this is what happened to Jess Staley. Plus, he made all this money and he had a fake hedge fund. So it wasn't even like he was getting actual investments. And we know this is what Epstein would do. He would have a party and a butler would come up and say, "Would you like a beautiful young woman?" The guy would say yes. And it would be a child, and they would perform sex acts, and they would videotape it, and then they had evidence. So then Epstein would say, "Well, I got videos of you, man. So I'm going to need you to do this and this and this." It might even have just been like, "Hey, I know you're into kids the way I'm into kids. Why don't we help each other out? I'll get you kids, you take care of my money." It might not even have been blackmail. It might have just been like, let's do this business deal together. And so I want to go back to all of these other photos. Now look at this. German son kills judge overseeing Deutsche Bank in the Epstein trial. So that was a weird thing that popped up. I never even went into that, but Deutsche Bank is one of the banks, as I showed you, that's listed, right? JP Morgan Chase and Deutsche Bank, right? Member Jeffrey, Deutsche Bank settles Epstein vetting lawsuit for $26 million. That was September of 2022, which was before this lawsuit came out. These are the Deutsche Bank executives responsible for serving Jeffrey Epstein. And I showed you that story, right? These are the wealthiest, most powerful people in the world. And that's Prince Andrew. But there's Prince Andrew with Virginia Roberts Giuffre and Ghislaine Maxwell. But before we go too deep into the rabbit hole here, I just want to show you this is pretty damning, obviously, because and I said this when I did the story when they first came up with this lawsuit last November of like, this is the way to go. The way to go is to go at their money and do these lawsuits because they can't stop off of all of them. Now you're dealing with the wealthiest, most powerful people in the world. And if we, the people, just don't shut up about this, they can't quiet everybody, right?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are still in our 9th month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood and go to GrahamElwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a PO box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.